want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows? You can make your voice heard on the Brad, Sean, Bryant, KFAN text line. Just let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard text message and data rates apply.
He came from somewhere back in how long ago. Said about the fool, don't see, trying hard to recreate what had yet to be created.
Well, this, before I introduce you, say it again.
Lead in, it's Michael McDonald.
You like it?
I love it.
Fire up Michael McDonald and the Dubes for somebody who has a title that no longer fits on a card. Make it loud.
Only to realize.
Holy cow. You need an 8x10 business card for this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of hockey operations and general manager for your favorite hockey team. Can I get a witness? And a raucous round of applause for Bill Guerin, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Billy G?
Not too much. Not too much.
Ready to get grilled?
Yeah, I'm ready
you know
to get
me.
grilled. I love being back at the fair. It's
No, you ain't going to get put on it.
I just like it. It's got a good feel, good vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Great food, great beer. Good people watching.
Now, I don't know how it transpires with, like, Aaron Sickman or our beloved Sicky and a general manager. Can I call you GM? I mean, the president of Hockey Ops is awesome. I'm sure there was some extra money to come along with it, which is even better. But nevertheless, GM just comes out quicker.
That's great.
That's cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're working with Sicky or whomever,
Yep.
and you're set to sit down for what could be an elongated chat with somebody like me, a noteworthy Bulldog reporter, like I'm with the Boston Globe or the New York Post, so you know that undoubtedly you're going to be grilled with controversial questions. Does Aaron go over anticipated questions coming, or he's just like, nah, it's PA. He'll just chat about whatever comes up.
B.
It's B, right?
B. Yes. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't like pre.
Right.
I don't like getting questions beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
It's too. I just like being authentic and giving you what I think at the time, and I try to take my time and give you answers that I think you'll care about, and that I believe in. No BS. I don't want to. I don't want to have anything scripted. I don't like that. And tough questions are fine with me. And I'll, like I always say, if I can't answer you something honestly, and I'll be honest about that and tell you I can't answer it.
But you're a tough guy, and you were the toughest of the tough ever to tough when you played. But when you get pissed off, you can be tough too. And Russo Radio pressed you on something after the season, and you got mad at him. So I don't want to put.
I didn't get mad.
I know you did. I just want to see your reaction.
I didn't.
But you remember the moment, right?
I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I think I'm a nice guy. I didn't get mad at him. I just. Yeah, you know what? I was tired of kind of hearing what I was hearing already.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think, and other people have questioned me about it and my answers and this and that. And I look back on it and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I didn't answer it perfectly, but that's the way I was feeling at the time. I felt more than being hard on our players. I needed to step in for them, and because I believe in them, I thought they played hard. That's just the way I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I bite back too, but
you're authentic.
I try to be.
Yeah, you're authentic. You're a real guy, man. I mean, on and off the mic, and from somebody who's done this as long as I have, that's why I like interviewing on a weekly basis during the season people in hockey, in the National Hockey League. That's why I spend 40 minutes with Bob Motzko and used to do the same thing with Don Lucia or Jordan Leopold or Johnny Pohl or Bill Guerin or Dean Evison or Mike Yeo. It's the authenticity level of those in that game is different than some other games.
Yeah, you will. When you get Bob Motzko, he's the same on the air as he is off the air.
Salt of the earth.
And same with all the other guys you mentioned, and I don't know, it's just the way we are.
When you ran into Coach Motzko before you came on over here, did you thank him for the work he put into Brock Faber? before you guys got him, or have you already done that?
Oh, of course.
Right.
Oh, I've already done that, but I do every time I see him.
Yeah, Faber's nice. I mean, it's like Faber. It's okay. I guess the high end example would be Cale Makar. Was it BU? He played at BU.
No, he played at UMass.
UMass, thank you. Okay, so Makar, he's at UMass. Then the next second, he's on the blue line for the Avalanche, and they're going to win the cup. So another example would be Faber, who jumped right out of the Frozen Four into it with you guys. And I'm not going to say Faber is Makar or Makar is Faber. That ain't easy, man.
No.
Especially, I mean, you were a forward, so I would guess that being a blue liner where you see it all coming at you and it's all new and you're young and everything, I mean, some people can freak out, but it didn't seem like Faber did he?
No, and some guys can just handle it, and Brock seems to be one of those guys that just there's a bit of an it factor with him, and he just it seems kind of general, but like when you say somebody just gets it,
Yeah.
they just get it.
Yeah.
And
you can see it early.
It's tough to really elaborate on that. He just gets it. And it is. It's tougher to make the NHL as a defenseman than a forward.
Right.
It is, and to be thrown into the fire like that, you just, hey, you know what? Some guys can handle that, and some guys can't.
Here's what the state fair is. My man up there with the backwards cap, the blue cap. Yep, and your friend next to him.
Yep.
Polishing off. You guys put that
pups.
foot-long Prano pup down. That's the quickest I've ever seen anybody eat food in my life. I got respect for you. That's the state fair right there.
It is. That's awesome.
Good, man.
I'm going to be doing that.
Doesn't that look good?
Those are so good.
Right. But see,
I love it.
if you strap on 4,000 calories at the state fair, well, then your body fat is going to go from like 7, where it is now 7%, up to like 9. Man, you got to be concerned a little bit.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Not in one day.
Well,
One day
you're
it's not
working
going
off.
to kill you.
Yeah.
I don't work it off.
Yeah, I mean, and if you just want to sweat it off, all you have to do is look at that 14.7 that doesn't come off the book for.
Yeah, that.
I'll stop right there.
That clogs your arteries.
That's a brilliant way to put it. Yeah, that payoff thing for 2 more years. That's it. That is the buyout version of a clogged artery. That's a brilliant way to put it.
You can live with 2 arteries.
Yep, I understand that.
Yeah, you don't need all 4.
Bill Guerin is the 4th general manager in team history, and it's the old state fair, and he loves it here. Do you happen to have a favorite food, maybe at this fair? Or something?
Yeah, I love Pronto Pups.
Me too.
Yeah,
cheese curds.
love them.
Yep, for sure.
I'll eat anything.
Yeah,
but I like sausage, hot dogs, things like that. I love them. But I grew up going. We had this thing out east where I was from in West Springfield called the Big E. It was the Eastern States Exposition. So it was all New England, and they had these kind of like this big fairground, kind of like this livestock show and rodeo and this and that. Each state had a house you could go in and go to Maine and get lobster and baked potatoes, all this different stuff. So you get corn dogs there, but I'd gone to things like this, even the Texas State Fair when we lived in Texas, but like I'd never seen a Pronto Pup.
Yeah.
And when I came here for the first time 4 years ago, I fell in love.
Wait, well, so with the Boston area, with Massachusetts, your beloved home state, well, how do they do clam chowder on a stick? I mean, how does that work?
Very carefully.
It could be also very, very messy.
Yeah, no, they don't do it on a stick.
Okay. Do you like...
It wasn't as much on a stick stuff.
I
It's
see.
just what was native to what state.
Do you have a preference, New England or Boston clam chowder? It's New England
It's the same thing. No, there's Manhattan.
No, Manhattan, that's what it is. Thank you very much. Manhattan's orange, right?
Yeah.
It's like orange-ish.
Don't even bother.
It's like I don't need tomato sauce with it.
Don't even bother.
Right.
My favorite place to get clam chowder in Boston is at a place in Charlestown called the Warren Tavern. And if you have like a cup, it comes in a mug, and if you drop your spoon in it, your spoon might not hit the bottom.
Oh, wow.
And
all the chunks of clam?
Paul Revere used to drink there.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
So that means it has a ceiling that's like...
It's like right here.
Yeah. Yeah, when we went and played the Steelers in 2013 at Wembley, first time I was at Wembley, the place is Immortality. There was a restaurant, you can look it up, called the Bricklayer's Arm, but we stayed for a week at a resort, resort's the wrong way to look at it, but it's in a little town called Watford, it's called the Grove, and it was just this big, expansive, beautiful area where, like, if you walked into the woods and went too far, you had to be careful because there were like bunkers from World War II and like little passages they would go down. I was very fascinated by all of that. Down the road, there was a 150, 200-year-old restaurant called the Bricklayer's Arm. And the ceilings were like 5'10", like I'm 6'1", and it's like it was like 6'3". I had to bend down a little bit just to get to the table. And on the menu, don't cancel me, please. I only have 2 days of the fair left, and I really like to call this first Vikings game. They served pigeon, okay? But the pigeon that they served actually was shot outside of Bricklayer Arm. You couldn't get your meal until they got the pigeon.
I love it.
And then it would have shot in it when I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. I want to call this first Vikings game.
Why would somebody cancel you on that?
Because people cancel everybody for everything. I don't care about that. I ain't worried about that.
You got to eat.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of a flippin' bad joke. But yeah, those low ceilings in places like that. You said Paul Revere.
Lower ceilings, fewer windows. Probably a good bar.
Have you ever gone skiing in Montana with Aaron Sickman?
No, I never have. It's a bucket list thing of mine. I grew up skiing in the East Coast. Vermont. I grew up near the Berkshire Mountains. We were actually members of a ski club when I was a kid.
Wow.
It was awesome.
You grew up in Vermont?
No, I grew up in Massachusetts, but it's close.
Okay.
But we even did Mondays ski with the school. So Mondays everybody pile into school buses, and they'd bring you to Mount Tom and drop you off for a couple hours and then bring you back. But I've never skied out west. And that's something that I really want to do.
Well, like Sickman and his family, I don't know if they do it anymore. They'll go on ski trips to Montana, and that they look fantastic.
Yeah, at the most unopportune time, right in the middle of the season. Next thing you know, he's just gone.
Best segment Jackson's ever heard in the history of KFAN.
And the next thing you know, and by the way, he's standing right there.
I know he is. Well, he's hiding now. But see, like I asked,
I've never been on the trip. I've never been invited on the trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jackson would invite you.
Jackson invites me everywhere.
Of course he does. But so Aaron actually, I'm like, I think the ski thing, I think you have made up friends and a made up family, and you don't actually go to Montana. And so I want to see video of you skiing. Well,
I know there's a real family.
Well,
but definitely made up friends.
I figured that up too. Yeah, I figured that out too. A lot of made up friends, and we've talked about that. Aaron is not healthy to have made up friends. Just be honest with it. But nevertheless, so the only video I've gotten from the Sickman family with Aaron skiing, it was like the wide world of sports. It was like
the guy the agony of defeat.
It was the agony of defeat guy. Like he's looking all smooth, the skis are up, the form is good, but then he has to land, and that was a problem for old Aaron Sickman.
I bet he's walking back up the mountain to get his ski.
Right. All right. So, what are you up to right now? Like with the job, what's happening right now? Approaching September, and president of hockey ops, same as general manager, or do you have different duties?
There are different duties, but there are just things that I feel like I've been doing all along since I've been here. I think in a lot of
double espresso. Give it a try.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody brought me a double espresso. Like I need to blink more.
Well, it's super cold now.
Well, I know it's not bad though.
But it's good.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? For me, I'm a big believer in the hockey side has to help the business side. The business side has to help the hockey side. Matt Maka is the president of the business side for the Minnesota Wild, and he is the greatest guy and the best guy I could ever ask for to work with. He is
love him.
Super bright, super hardworking, and a wonderful person, and very collaborative. And he's, he lets me get involved. Like if there's a season ticket holder event, or we need to speak to sponsors or things like that. Just get involved with just helping. Like he is the boss on that side. He makes things go. If there's anything I can help with on that side, I do. But it's also giving his side access to the hockey team.
Yeah.
And just making the whole thing work together and growing it together. And Craig has really allowed Matt and I to kind of come together on a lot of things, and we just really support each other, and it's been really good. So it's more than just the hockey.
Yeah.
And there are roles out, GMs out there that just do the hockey.
Correct.
I'd like to get involved in more.
And I'm super glad you brought that up, because I was going to praise you for that. And it's not necessarily NFL, NBA, MLB, or hockey. It's just there's so much that goes into the job of general manager, specifically during the season. And it's not common for GMs in a lot of sports to roll into suites during a game. Okay,
Right.
So it's middle second period. My squad's lost 2 or 3. I got injuries. We got this guy complaining he ain't playing enough. And it's a meat grinder, and I'm going to roll into a suite and spend half a period with season ticket holders or advertisers. And FIGA,
100%,
Fairness and Bill Guerin Act. Part of it is, being Bill Guerin and being a shiny toy. But the other side of it is just gratitude for people sticking with you in a very competitive market.
Yes, I think that's very important, and I do that. I do.
Bro, you do it a lot.
And I think it's
like
really
10K
important.
takes guys and everything.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I think it's cool.
It's hey, look at that's the reason we are allowed to play in front of a full house and pay players and pay staffs and things like that. The fans, the sponsors, suite holders, season ticket holders, single game. Everybody's important. Everybody deserves our time, and I feel that we need to take time for everybody. And hey, look, if I miss a half a period, what am I going to do anyways?
Right.
And
Stew.
I can rewind the tape.
You might sit there and stew if it ain't going the right way.
Sometimes it's good that I miss a half a period, But no, I think the extra things that I can do to help the organization are like this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times
you're obligated to do this. It's part of your deal. I've seen your deal.
But if there's a separate president of hockey operations, he would probably be doing this.
Yeah.
Not the general manager.
And it probably would be 6 minutes with no jokes, no clam chowder, no bricklayer's arm, and have a great day. Good luck.
Yeah.
Instead, it's going to be 2.5 hours. Oh, by the way, the 1 hour sit down, the free fan forum bit with Barrero.
Yeah,
hey,
you like that? I loved it. I loved it.
You and Dan are super good on the radio together. Dan gets you get him. Dan ain't afraid to ask certain questions. You can handle anything. But I mean, take it from somebody who I haven't done it as long as Dan, but I've done it quite some time. It's not easy to get this relationship like you and I have, chatting on the air almost like there's not a microphone here.
Right.
And you and Dan amplify that, and so I just thought it was great.
Thanks. Yeah, I did too, and I love the setup over at KFAN, and
pretty cool
to bring people front and center and to see the interaction, because I think you're right, Dan and I we like you and I we have. Our relationship is great, and but Dan and I have it's totally different, but it works, and
I know hockey. Dan doesn't, so therefore
totally.
I mean, Dan doesn't get neutral zone trap. We're working on the power play and the offside and stuff like that, but nevertheless,
he stand right in front. You get a better one there.
He's a very, very smart mind.
He's great.
Oh, by the way,
he tells me that.
So you are a GM of the fans, all right? So we talked about the suites and everything. I don't want to forget this, man, the extra steps that you do, because this could go haywire if you call a season ticket holder at a bad time. But you actually have called some season ticket holders, right? And chatted with them on the phone?
Yeah, I've done a lot with season ticket holders. I have something actually next week. It's not necessarily calling people. It's meeting with them face to face in group settings and addressing certain things. I'm always available for questions and things. Hey, listen, people work hard for their money. Mm-hmm. Tickets are really expensive. If they're going to spend their hard-earned money on something, I think they should know what's going on. They should be able to ask a couple questions, just not throw it into the wind. And hey, no, they have concerns.
But Billy, it gives them an opportunity to formulate an opinion.
And you know what? I'll tell you,
that's cool.
And if that's good for you and you want to buy it, awesome. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on as much as I can, and then you can make your decision.
But what if they're
I think fans have earned that right. And they should ask questions.
Amen. But what if they're like, Bill, I've been waiting all my life. This guy sucks. And I don't understand why we play him, why he's on the team. This guy sucks. Yeah. So you got to make sure no phones are going. You know what I'm saying?
If you think a guy sucks, that's fine. I might agree with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't want that response to get on social media. That's what I'm saying. It's such a different world, man, that you got to, if you're going to be a GM of the fan and a fan formulates a big opinion, it's a negative opinion, you happen to agree with it. You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but you don't have to phrase it like, I think he stinks. If he's struggling or if he's not a good fit, or, I don't know.
Punch the fan.
Or the best thing you can do is listen.
Yeah.
And just listen. I think that's the most important thing is you give people time and you give them your open ears.
Lastly, for this segment, 2 segments with Bill Guerin. As long as he can stick around, we'll keep him. General manager, president of hockey ops, favorite hockey team, Minnesota Wild. I just want to get this out of the way because it's so talked out and there's nothing you can do about it. But are you and the owner going to throw a party last day of June 2025 when that 14-7 dead cat falls off? I ain't kidding, man. Like bourbon and Shirley Temples and
there won't be Shirley Temples.
Yeah,
we'll be too busy working on things.
Right, but it is that. I think Chris Middleton, said something. Not Chris Middleton. Jake Middleton. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Said something near the end of the year when being peppered by the media or something about depth of the room or whatever, and only so much you can do with something hovering over you, and I think it was him. I might have messed that whole thing up, but the bottom line is when that falls off, well, patience are required. Let's just put it that way. Fans. GM of the fan, coach, owner, all patience need to be required to a certain extent right now, right?
Yeah. You always have to have patience no matter what, but expectations and demand always has to be high.
Yeah.
It always has to be high. There's no I'm not waiting for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I want to win now.
Yeah.
Our players want to win now. So we're not sitting here, putting X's on the calendar like we'll play in 2 years. No.
No, I get it.
We are playing this year.
Yeah.
And we're trying to win this year. Like, we don't care.
You mean win the cup?
Yes.
Yes. Of course you're trying to win the cup, and I love the team and I love you, but it is dramatically more difficult to win the cup.
Yes, it is.
Strapped with that 15 large, 14-7. Think about it, man. You might be 2.5 years away from trading a first-round pick, dropping $10 million on somebody winning a cup. Hey.
Yeah.
We pretty good.
But we are playing to win the Stanley Cup, and I always say people might think I'm crazy because we have these cap hits, and I still think we can win. I think we should win. We need to expect to win. It's all about your attitude. If we're just sitting here taking it easy, can you imagine me walking in the dressing room and say, let's just take it easy for 2 years here, guys. We'll be all right. No, they would, honestly, they would kick me out.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and you can't just flip a switch in 2 years and say, okay, we're ready now. Yeah. Let's go. No, it is every day, every year, preparing every single day to win. Win that day, win that night, and win that year.
Bill Guerin, general manager, Minnesota Wild. How about a round of applause? He's going to stick around for another segment, talk more about the squad. Love ourselves some Billy G at the Old State Fair on
KFAN, The Fan.
President of Hockey Ops for the Minnesota Wild with us here at the State Fair. We're just having a funky good time into the penultimate segment of the 9 to noon radio show. Yeah, somebody gave me this. Now it's radio, so you can't see it, but it's Telly Savalas. It's Kojak.
It's a sticker.
It's a sticker that says, "I'd rather be watching Kojak."
Baby.
So, yeah, the Who Loves You, Baby.
Who Loves You, Baby.
That, yeah, see there, and that triggered a conversation.
The Discover card.
The Discover card. Is that still a thing? Okay, and with all due respect, and I'm sure there's an account executive that in the IR family is going to hate me because they're probably working on a Discovery account.
Was it Discover or Diners Club?
Is it Discover? It's Discover and Discovery Channel. How many people in the Mesh Besher and Spence Lawyers fan stands have a Discover card in their wallet? My man's got a Discover card. Well, is that right next to the Blockbuster card?
I'm drawing a blank, though, on whether Telly Savalas did Discover or I think he did Diners Club International.
Yes.
It wasn't Discover's.
Right.
Diners Club International.
Yeah. What was Diners Club International was some I think that was Tinder before Tinder was Tinder.
Diners Club International.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a thumbs up.
Okay. Who Loves You, Baby? Yeah. Bill Guerin and yours truly, Paul Allen. We mentioned Brock Faber earlier. I just want to ask you this because he's heading into the second season, and I can't remember what your answer was when I asked this to you months ago. But like his strengths, all right? So you've explained his strengths. But he's still young. So therefore, the strengths can become stronger. Mm-hmm. And it's like with the high-enders, and that was you, that there are stages where good goes to very good fast. Very good goes to really, really good, and then really, really good elite. Mm-hmm. And it all happens fast. I ain't saying he's that. But nevertheless, like, what's he on the fast track with improvement that maybe we will notice next year?
Fast track of improvement. Well, you know what? Honestly, he's known for his skating and his defending. Mm-hmm. You could see that last year, with a short sample size or small sample size. And I think with young players like him, like who are, he's an elite skater, elite competitor, great defensive hockey sense. So I'm not sure. I think he's got more offensive capability than he probably gives himself credit for or pushes himself to do. Mm-hmm. So he can work on that. But I think when he's already good, when a player like him is already good at something, and then you really start, like, it's funny, like you have to learn the league. You have to figure the league out.
Right.
And we're young kids, we're fans, even though we're playing right down the road at the U, or, I was at Boston College watching the Bruins play. You idolize the guys in the NHL, and sometimes you don't realize that you are already better than some of the guys that are out there.
Right.
So when you go through the league kind of once, you're like, oh my God, like this guy that I've been watching for 10 years, He actually is not that good.
Yeah.
I'm way better than him.
Wow.
Or my teammate that I thought was that great, I'm better than him. I can move up.
Mm-hmm.
You when you start learning the league, you're like, oh, okay. Kind of light bulb goes off. I'm pretty good at this game.
If speaking of being pretty good at the game, the fan has learned the Boston Red Sox are baseball immortality. It's a Bill's childhood or maybe still favorite baseball team. And so now they've lost 3 in a row, but they got this 3-team wild card bit where the Twins, when they win their division, they're going to hook the 3rd wild card. They'll get all 3 at Target Field. There's a chip charin chance. There's a puncher's chance. It could be your beloved Boston Red Sox. So if the Red Sox are here in about a month for the postseason, are you going to break out your game-worn Rico Petrocelli for any one of the 3 games?
You mean my Carl Yastrzemski, number 8?
Or Freddie Lynn?
Freddie Lynn.
Yeah.
Or Dewey Evans.
Yeah. Well, Freddie Lynn was Captain
Evans.
Cool.
Freddie Lynn, number 19.
Yeah. I mean, back to
Jim Rice.
We're close to the same age.
Those are great teams.
We're close to the same age. So when we were growing up watching sports with all 3 channels we had in PBS, it's like I grew up in Washington, D.C. I ain't saying I had a crush on Jim Palmer, but like when Jim Palmer pitched for the Orioles, he was doing underwear commercials.
Oh my God,
and I was like, man, this is Captain Cool right here. I want to be him.
Wait,
Fred Lynn was that guy for the Bo Sox.
Is this a Red Sox Twins connection? Was Louis Tiant a Minnesota Twin?
Wow, what do I look like? Elias Sports Bureau?
Yeah, Louis Tiant. He was great too.
Well, it's,
so to answer your question,
we'll find emotion like that.
Even if I went to the game, I would never do that. I would never.
Why?
Because
it's your favorite team.
I'm the general manager of a Minnesota sports team. I would never go and cheer against.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't go to the game because I wouldn't go and cheer against the Twins.
Right. So therefore,
I don't do that.
The game-worn Dwight Evans would have to be left in the closet.
Yeah.
How about
he had a cannon from right field.
Boom. I mean, that's what I was going to say. And you're an athlete, so you appreciate high-end athleticism in other sports. There was a time with Dwight Evans, Ellis Valentine. You remember that?
Yeah.
Cat named Ken Singleton. I used to love when I was in D.C. and I would go to Orioles games.
Rick
Burleson. Yeah.
Rich Gedman.
Yeah, for sure.
Rich Gedman was born in Worcester.
So when Bucky Dent hit that home run by the foul pole.
Effing Bucky Dent.
Yeah. Well, how old were you? I mean, did you cry?
I don't know. I didn't cry. I wasn't old enough to really care that much about it.
Really? No, you were. You had to be 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, of course you cared.
I cared, but I didn't cry.
Right. But that was a postseason defining moment for your beloved Bo Sox.
I mean, that was right in the middle of all the struggles. And my grandmother was the biggest Red Sox fan. And she loved the Sox, and she'd watch all the games. My dad told me when they would go to the beach in the summertime, they were not allowed to go to the beach until the Red Sox game was over. She'd listen to it on the radio.
Yeah.
She just loved it. She was the best. So just quick Grandma Guerin story. So when I was a little kid, she used to come down to the basement and play street hockey with me, and she was my goalie. She used to put on my baseball glove and my like the waffle we had, and I used to shoot tennis balls at her.
Well, you couldn't have been hitting them that hard. It's Grandma.
I was rifling them at her. Like, she was good. And we had a rink out in the backyard. And she would stand out on the side of the rink off the ice. And I would just skate around and I'd pass it to her and she'd hit it back to me. And she was the best. Yeah. She was the biggest sports fan, Boston sports fan in the world. And when I got traded to the Bruins, that was one of the coolest things.
Wow.
Was going back and telling my grandmother that I was a Boston Bruin.
So when she would go watch you play, that was Boston Garden, right?
No.
That wasn't a guard. It was TD. Whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, if she would go watch you play and grandbaby got into a fight, would she get pissed off at the other guy and, like, go down to the glass and bang on it?
No. She didn't care, but she loved it. She thought the other guy had it coming.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, always great hanging with you.
Yeah, I love it. Aaron, I got no idea why you don't make Bill available 9 to noon more often, but we just had a wonderful, wonderful time. So Jackson would have him on 9 to noon more frequently.
Yeah. He would have done it. He would have planned it before yesterday.
Yep. Bill Guerin, ladies and gentlemen, general manager of your Minnesota Wild.
KFAN, the Fan.
can do. I feel so bad, yeah, I feel so blue. I got to make it right for everyone concerned, even if it's me.
All right, deep stretch 9 to noon, Double B, Brett Blakemore. Thank you very much for your assistance today. Likewise for Eric Nordquist, producer for 9 to noon. He's mad producer. Tomorrow is the penultimate fair day for 9 to noon. We are down to 18 segments, 9 tomorrow, 9 Friday for the feast. What's on tap tomorrow that you find to be stimulating for Rube Nation?
Absolutely. Thanks to Casey's, by the way, who brings you the final segments 9 to noon, whether we're at the fair, at the studio, or anywhere. Casey's here for good. Fountain and frozen drinks, thin crust pizzas. Casey's. We love because it's game day. Golden Gophers game day. They're hosting Nebraska, and Gophers Vox Mike Grimm will be here bright and early at 9 a.m. So we'll cover that. There will be a press conference that we will air despite being at the fair.
Wow, State Fair manna from heaven.
Absolutely, it will be at 10 a.m. You'll get to hear from both head coach Kevin O'Connell of the Minnesota Vikings, general manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. Final 53 in the mix. Maybe they'll bring up, by the way.
Wait, then that coach that you secured, and we could talk about Shake Milton.
Yeah, from Micah Nori, the Minnesota Timberwolves, is going to be here. And then you have the NFC North debate tomorrow at 11 a.m. featuring Dave Sinekin, Lavelli Neal III covering the Bears, and then potentially a common man cameo.
Well, the great NFC North debate is a long-standing staple at the State Fair 9 to noon. I'm champions. Do I need to get anything ready? Because we're going to roll in here with 13 victories from last year.
Heavy is the crown.
Just hear everybody. We're going to carry the crown. Yeah, we're carrying the crown. I think it's radio, so people won't be able to see it, but I think every response I have is going to be like that, unfurling the crown. That's tomorrow. Great job today, brother.
Cheers.
Hey, God bless everybody. Thank you very much for listening to KFAN whenever you do, and you do a lot. We know that. I'm Paul Allen. Have a wonderful day at the State Fair. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
We lucky we got 'em. Good time. I love it, baby. Woo!
Podcast today's Paul back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.